Andy Bartley. Topic is rapid innovation.
And we're live. Okay, good evening everybody. Andy Bartley, the COO and head of product for NurseGrid. Real quick before we get started, show of hands, who here is currently involved in a digital health startup or works with digital health startups? Okay, good spattering throughout the audience, excellent. Well, what I'm going to talk to you all about tonight is how to help digital health entrepreneurs that are new to the healthcare space accelerate the adoption of their technology. There's this really interesting phenomenon going on right now in digital health. It's a very exciting time. A record $2 billion has been invested into digital health companies in the first half of 2015. This is an unprecedented rate that's being fed by an incredible pipeline of accelerators, incubators, and entrepreneurs from all industries realizing that now is a time for innovation in digital healthcare. The interesting thing is many of these technologists don't have a firm understanding of what it takes to be successful in the healthcare space. They may be amazing developers, they may be amazing analysts, but the nuances of bringing a product to market in healthcare oftentimes escape them. And what happens in this case is these entrepreneurs get held up. Their innovations take a long time, and so we hear the usual complaints of, how do I get healthcare to move quickly? So I'm going to talk tonight about how PDA can help fix that. So when I talk about PDA, I'm not talking about an awkward physical interaction between a clinician and an entrepreneur. I'm talking about a three-step framework that addresses three common issues that entrepreneurs new to digital health need to take into consideration. That is, understanding how to run an effective pilot program, having a comprehensive data strategy, and understanding how to build advocacy within healthcare environments. So let's talk first about pilot programs. Pilot programs, for those that don't know, are a critical step for any digital health company trying to get their product actually used in healthcare. They really are the doorway through which new technology enters the healthcare ecosystem. But many entrepreneurs don't take time to think about how developing a proper pilot program and what goes into a successful pilot program. This image from Mountain Goat Software gives 4 of the more general inputs to any successful pilot program. But healthcare entrepreneurs, especially digital health entrepreneurs, need to take this a step further when they're developing their pilot programs. Otherwise, they run the risk of not being successful and not getting adoption. The 3 additional issues that digital health entrepreneurs need to think about are clinical workflow mapping, understanding what their minimum viable footprint is, and how to scale the full solution. So clinical workflow mapping is a critical step, understanding the upstream and downstream clinical workflows that your product will touch. The Agency for Advanced Healthcare and Quality Research has great resources on how to conduct an effective clinical workflow map. Second, understand your minimum viable footprint. Many entrepreneurs will come in with the thought that I'm going to take my product straight to production, require a lot of integrations, and next thing you know, it's 6 months of decisions and meetings and nothing's been done. So take these into consideration when you're designing your pilot program. The second thing I'll talk about in the PDA framework is having a comprehensive data strategy. And a comprehensive data strategy covers at minimum security and compliance risk, interoperability, and measurable results. So I'll talk first about security and compliance risk. Now I won't share any news information tonight about security and compliance. It's been all through the news, except to say that by being a digital health entrepreneur, you're making a commitment to grow up faster than your peers. You need to understand that your processes and systems around security and compliance have to be much more sophisticated than the mobile app that your friends might be working on. Second is interoperability. A great artifact that any digital health entrepreneur can create as they're designing their product is a comprehensive map that lays out the data model of any complementary and potentially competitive systems that they'll be interacting with in the healthcare environment on the front end. Understand what those inputs are, how your system will collect those, and when you plan to do that in your product lifecycle. Finally, developing measurable results. Digital health entrepreneurs have no shortage of data to work with, but oftentimes there's a disconnect between what they measure and what healthcare organizations need to see to get excited. So make sure you're in alignment on those issues. The final point I'll talk about in this framework is building advocacy inside the healthcare organization. Most digital health companies make their way into a hospital with 1 or 2 key champions that will help talk about your product, they're excited about the product, and they've been working on what you're working on. But to be successful, you need to build an army of advocates inside the healthcare system. Now, working in digital health entrepreneurs' favor is the fact that healthcare organizations are highly social. There's many interactions that occur, both scheduled and unscheduled on a regular basis, that create opportunities for your story to get told throughout the organization. It's the digital health entrepreneur's responsibility to understand how to take advantage of these opportunities when they arise. So the first thing to consider, who is it that you need to be an advocate? Who has the power and the authority and the influence to really bring your solution from that pilot stage to production? Second, what gets them excited? Meaning, how do you get in their head and tell a story that's compelling to them in the vernacular that's important to them with the metrics that they need to see? And finally, how and when do you engage these key advocates in success? A great example, something we've used we found out that one of our advocates had a staff meeting every Monday morning. So we made sure that going into that meeting, they had the critical information they need so they could share what we were doing. So in closing, frameworks like these can be used by digital health entrepreneurs to accelerate adoption of their technology. This certainly isn't the only framework, but it's important for these digital health entrepreneurs to be successful. The problems that they're tackling are real, they're meaningful, and they're driving true change in healthcare. And I think a common theme between everybody in the audience tonight, in alignment with the quote here, is that meaningful work is work improving the healthcare system. Thank you.